The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WZWA Network, and welcome to our review show here of AEW WrestleDream from the Climate Pledge Arena on October 1st, 2023 in Seattle, Washington, in front of 6,771 fans. I'm Carla for you. This is Juicy Boy. How are you, mate?
Oh, dude, I'm doing fantastic. It's been a busy freaking week here at the House of Juicy Boy. Lots going on, preparing for my upcoming new job that I'm hoping to start soon. Huge show, and I mean that quite literally when it comes to AEW, because these shows are, as we've said for quite a while now, they're quite bloated and lengthy in the running time, which I'm sure we'll touch on throughout the review. But how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, not too bad. It's just been, a busy few days with what was it? Stardom, XPW, a few other things going on.
It never ends.
Yeah,
never ends.
Yeah, it's just constant reviews. After this, I've got to watch NWA Power. So,
dude, the constant edits for the channel.
Yeah, a lot of you out there, I hope you realize how much work goes into this. Sometimes I don't go to bed until like 2 a.m. because I've been working all night on the channel. You should join us on Patreon at the Slam Society, $3 a month, and you can give a little back. You already give us a lot by watching all this. You can give a little bit back, and you get all this extra stuff. So, I mean, come on, that sounds like a great idea, don't you think, Juicy Boy?
Yeah, give a little bit of your time to, well, not just your time, some of your money too, but
yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's get on with it. Bro.
AEW WrestleDream, bro. I know that this was a slug for you to get through, right? I know that, right? Because we talked about it off the air. But even with that in mind, because when I found out this show was going to be on this week, I was like, oh, another one. It just seems like we're overloaded with wrestling, so much lately. And but this had some intriguing matches on it. And when I looked at the overall layout of the card, I thought this is going to be interesting. It has the potential to be either one of AEW's kind of home run type events that they hit occasionally, or it has the potential to be an absolute dumpster fire of an event.
Right.
So I was interested going in to see where on that spectrum it would land and what you would think of it as well.
Yeah. Well, hang on. Just got to change it so I'm actually talking through my actual microphone now. Okay. All right, bro. Yeah. Look, we'll figure this all out as we move along. But look, okay. I know you didn't watch the pre-show. I'm going to be real quick at the pre-show.
Yeah. Okay? We'll need a little actual, like a jingle going forward, because I never watched the pre-show. So it needs to be, we need a little jingle going like, it's California's pre-show rundown or some stupid shit like that.
That's to be South Park style as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know, Juicy Boy, that the pre-show, that 0 hour, was 90 minutes long?
Well, that's
hour and a half.
That's a 0 hour and a half then.
Like, why?
Not 0 hour, 0 hour and a half.
Yeah. Why do we need 90 minutes? From our friends that they're on the Rising Network there at hashtag Pro Wrestling, one of the guys in there loves AEW. His name's Nerdcore. And he was trying to rub it into me because he knows that I complain about the length of the shows. He's trying to rub it in, saying, sucked in the pre-show is 90 minutes long. I don't care what anyone says. It's too fucking long.
I didn't even watch it.
I skimmed through a lot, especially the part where like they have a panel and they're talking bullshit. Which is why I don't watch the WWE pre-shows. This is too long when your pay-per-view is 4 hours long. I'm not going to harp on it too much until we get to the 4 hour part. But the first thing that happens is Tony Khan is in the ring, and everyone in the ring is wearing an Antonio Inoki style scarf. And then I have the question, the big question. I understand that he He's influenced by Tony Inoki. He respects the man. But I keep thinking to myself, why the fuck is AEW doing a tribute show to him? I'd understand New Japan doing it, but why is AEW doing it? It just, to me, it just reeks of desperation of, please, everyone love me and everything that I'm doing. I hope all you marks out there really love what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing for Antonio Inoki and all the New Japan Pro Wrestling and the fact that you guys loved all that before AEW began. And I hope that you take all that love and you pour it into AEW as well. It just reeks of desperation, kind of like that Owen Hart tournament and all that stuff. What the hell does he have a business doing an Owen Hart tournament as well? You know what I mean?
I don't know. It all feels a bit like there's certain things that they do in AEW where it's like, okay, we've seen this person or this type of thing done in WWE before, and we're now kind of seeing a new chapter of their career play out in AEW, and it kind of works. Then some other stuff that they do, like the Owen Hart tournament and like this thing for Inoki, especially right at this particular point in the year, right at this particular point in AEW's history. Like, they couldn't have done this a couple of pay-per-views ago when they actually did a crossover show with New Japan with CM Punk on it and so forth. Like,
why wasn't Forbidden Door? Why was it
to just kind of wrap around to the end of that point. It's just, if not desperation, it just kind of feels like Tony Khan gets these ideas in his mind and thinks, oh, that's cool, let's do it. You know, it doesn't sort of happen that, oh, there's a big event coming up at this particular time, and then he thinks, oh, it might be nice to tie it in. You know, he's just come up with this idea, and it just all seems like some sort of mad plan that he's cobbled together. But anyway, go ahead.
So look, I know that Antonio did pass away exactly 1 year to the day of the show. So I get that. I get it. But again, I just think you have a segment like this. There's a picture of Antonio on a table behind Tony. Antonio's sons are in the ring. They get given flowers and all this stuff. Rocky Ramirez next to Tony Khan, also wearing the scarf. And I just think, once again, it's a chance for Tony to once again stick his fucking beak out there, get on the mic and you know, I just wish he would fucking stay behind the scenes. I hate listening to him talk on the mic. I hate listening to him talk at the press scrums where he doesn't even really give answers to any questions, and he just says how everything's great.
He answers questions like a politician does. He answers questions in that practiced way of sort of deflecting questions and just talking about whatever he feels like talking about instead of actually answering the question that was asked. But
by the way, the scrum went like 3 hours long after the pay-per-view. Over 3 hours.
Before we wrap up the pre-show,
I haven't even started the pre-show.
I know. Just one more comment, though. One more comment. Whenever he does this kind of thing, like, and sort of gets involved on his own show and cuts these things in the ring and even the press scrums to a degree, it really feels like he's a rich guy and he's saying, like, look at my thing that I have, and, like, you know, look how much fun I'm having and everything's so good. And he talks about, we provide jobs, you know, we're working with the network and all this. He understands that it's a business on that level, but it seems that he started this particular business, AEW, to sort of as his personal thing of being like, look what I have, look at this, everyone, so that he can endure. I mean, everything that he's doing, he is, fans like you and I, he's living our dream of, like, having the resources of being able to afford to actually, like, set up the infrastructure and attract all this talent, and then sort of has the opportunity to do something with. And he constantly seems to just want to bathe in that, you know, instead of just sitting backstage and doing that in his own private space. But That's how it feels.
I think it's just all look at me, everyone, look at me, accept me, accept me. Wrestlers, please all be my friends.
Yeah.
Please, can you be my friends?
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone who's probably anyone who's an AEW fan probably thinks, oh, this is gonna be some hell of a review here.
There's some good things. No, I've got some nice things to say.
Just wait, okay?
Hang on.
Here we go. The first match up here on 0 Hour, a mixed 8-person tag team match. Athena, Billie Starkz, Keith Lee, Satoshi Kojima against Diamante, Mercedes Martinez, and Shane Taylor Promotions, which is Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember Mercedes doing anything in the match, but anyway. I feel like this is put together for the sake of it. I know Keith Lee and Shane Taylor have had like a thing before in the past, but I feel like what do any of these people have to do with one another? Like, obviously, Moriarty and Shane are a team, but why is Kojima with the other two? Like, I don't know. It's just thrown together just to get Kojima on, probably.
Yeah.
So at one stage of the match, Athena was in the ring as Shane Taylor had tagged in, and she was like, I'm supposed to believe Athena wants to fight Shane Taylor. Like, come on. No. The dude's like fucking 10 times her size. Anyway, Kojima came in. He got a nice pop. It was an easy day at the office for him. He came in. I think he chopped Shane Taylor a couple of times. And then Keith Lee nailed Moriarty, then held Moriarty up, and then Kojima hit a lariat and won the match. Like, the guy was flown in, paid probably handsomely for the appearance, and he did like 2 things. I love it. I love it. Next, Josh Barnett takes on Claudio Castagnoli in a match that goes 8 minutes, 23 seconds. So I guess this is Josh Barnett's AEW debut. Claudio came out with Moxley because Moxley was going to be on commentary for this match. But they came out to Wild Thing. And I'm like, why is Claudio, for his singles match, coming out to Wild Thing? Why? He's got his own thing. 4 people on commentary for this match. It's too many. They were all talking all over each other. I had a hard time focusing on the match, and I'm going to complain about Moxley all fucking review here whenever he's on commentary.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Needed to shut up.
No, that's one thing I'll second. It's in my notes here. If you're expecting us to say nice things, I'm throwing another comment. I don't give a fuck, right? It's a big show, right? I saw someone put a meme up on Facebook the other day, and it wasn't a sarcastic meme. It was genuine, saying that they wanted Moxley to become like a full-time fixture at the announce booth.
Fucking idiot.
After seeing him hearing him at WrestleDream, and I wanted to just get 2 screwdrivers and stab my eyes out.
How could they not be annoyed by it? How could that not have annoyed them?
Like, and you know what? We'll get to it during the main show. We've got to get through this pre-show.
I'm trying to, bro. I'm trying
I know, man. I know. It's just so much.
He was screaming on commentary, light his ass up, whilst like Excalibur was in the middle of talking. And I was like, has Moxley been drinking? And I'm not saying that to be mean or anything like that, but I'm like, surely he should have some sort of awareness that there are 3 other people on commentary trying to commentate.
Yeah.
I couldn't concentrate on the match. Claudio ended up rolling Josh up for the win. And I wrote Moxley ruined the whole thing. And then afterward, Josh and Claudio got on the microphone and put each other over. 2 more matches on the 0 Hour. Luchasaurus squashes Nick Wayne in 4 minutes, 55 seconds. And he won with a clothesline to the back of the head.
Suck shit.
Then the AEW Trios titles, the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn defend against TMDK, which is Bad Guy Tito, I think.
It's Bad Dude Tito,
Shane and Mikey. I wrote barely any notes because what do you want me to say? The Acclaimed are going to win. Obvious. And Excalibur was talking about how this is a new era, and Tony had mentioned that this is a new era in AEW. How? What? Because of what happened at the end? Because everything else on the show was the exact same as we're fucking been getting for the last couple of years. The match ended the exact way we thought it would, like it does every single time. They hit their 3 finishes after one another for the victory in 9 minutes, 22 seconds. Let's get on with the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You start the actual pay-per-view and it's 4 hours long after a 90-minute pre-show. For something like WrestleMania, sure, 4 hours. But do AEW have to have this every single time they have a pay-per-view? Let's get on with the opening contest. I'm going to throw it to you here, bro. Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles, 9 minutes, 35 seconds. MJF takes on The Righteous, which is Dutch and Vincent in a handicap match.
Okay, I'll keep it short and sweet. Even though it's annoying that MJF is like defending the ROH tag titles at all, because for one, this is an AEW pay-per-view, and for two, he's the AEW world champion, but this is the match that they've chosen to put him in. So that's bullshit. Having said that, though, in the context of the match itself, it was a fun match the way that they worked it, and it didn't detract from anything that the guys and girls were going to do in the bigger matches later on. And like MJF is just so over. Like, this is an example of a talent that's over properly and understands what that means and understands that he doesn't have to do everything under the sun in order to like get reactions and stuff. Like, a lot of people, especially since MJF has turned babyface, like to make comments about, oh, well, everyone just likes to get behind it so much because he's like the former heel that's turned babyface. No. It's a genuine, organic affection. It is true that the audience wants to help him be a better babyface by like being in on it, but they feel that way about him because of the effectiveness of his work, because they believe in the way that he tells stories and uses his emotions and stuff to sell the storyline. In this case, turning babyface, and working this match without Adam Cole, who's on the shelf with the ankle broken in 3 places. I gave it a C+. It was basic. They kept it credible, but I still was scratching my head at this choice of using MJF on this show like this.
So yeah, just checked. Since MJF and Adam Cole have been Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, they have not shown up on Ring of Honor television once. Yeah, maybe they had maybe they cut a little promo, but they haven't wrestled on ROH. So I'm confused as to why tag titles will be sanctioned to be defended when one member of the team has a broken ankle. Usually in instances like this, they have like a interim champion or whatever. No, not in this case.
Substitute.
It doesn't fit what needs to be happening. So okay. One thing that really annoyed me, MJF at one stage, he went to slam Mark Davis, and he hurt himself because Mark Davis is a big boy. So MJF went to the outside and went to get the chick at ringside.
Dutch that he went to slam, bro.
Sorry?
It was Dutch that he went to slam.
I don't know why I said Mark Davis. He's in Aussie Open.
Yeah.
But they're both big bastards.
Yeah.
So he goes to the barricade. He wants to get the girl there to give him a shoulder rub.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, some guy comes in and he starts doing it. MJF cuts him off and says, no, not you, which was funny. Then she continues to massage him. Then some guy behind her reaches in and he starts massaging MJF's shoulder too. And I'm like, why are you touching him for?
Yeah.
The bit is getting the chick to fuck him. Why are you touching him? I don't understand why the guys had the thought in their head that it would be funny if they got involved. Some of these fans, bro, why are you massaging his shoulder?
I'm glad that no one had the idea of grabbing onto the girl's shoulder and trying to grab that, but like, if that same gag had been done back in the territory days, you'd have had the girl's boyfriend getting up in MJF's face, like yelling at him, and you wouldn't have anyone else trying to touch MJF. They'd be like, sitting there sipping on their beer. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just don't get it.
It's
I just
stupid.
don't get it. Like
It's
the
stupid.
security guard like leant in and told the guy to get off him.
Yeah, finally, you could see right before he walked back to the apron, before the camera cut away, he actually had to lean in and be like, dude, like, back off, man.
Like, fuck off, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, half the issue with AEW and ROH and all this shit, because it's all blended into one. People just get title shots out of the blue.
Yeah.
But then they place all this importance on eliminator tournaments and all this stuff. I don't want to see MJF defending the tag titles on pay-per-views. I want to see the world title on the line. I didn't mind the psychology of the match. It was fun. But, the fight's just going to look like shit if they lose clean. And they did. Yeah. Although, he had his feet on the ropes, but he still was going to get in either way. And I just thought it was weird. And because, I bet if they did all this kind of like hokey comedy stuff on WWE TV, these exact fans would tear it to shreds. But because it's MJF and AEW, it's okay.
Yeah.
ROH World Title and NJPW Strong Openweight title both on the line here. Eddie Kingston defends against Katsuyori Shibata. Match goes 10 minutes, 58 seconds. I knew Eddie wasn't losing this. I knew that they would start with a dick measuring contest. I knew that. I also thought that Kingston's issue is his ring gear isn't very flattering to him. It's okay to wear something that will accentuate your strengths. That's what I'm trying to get at there. I don't think that his gear accentuates his strengths. So I'm not body shaming. I'm just saying. If it were me, honestly, I would be wearing something like that tucked in because it would make me look like I've got a muffin top.
I don't know. I don't mind him looking like he's fat. Like, it just adds authenticity to him. Like, he just wears the singlet, but it's got nothing to do with his physique. It's just like, oh well.
So this was making me sleepy. It's hard when I'm watching matches where the results are obvious ahead of time. We've gone about this for a long time. There's no heat behind the match because it's just a title match between two people that don't have a pre-existing issue. It's just booked by a guy who wants to see people hit their moves on one another. And at one stage, Shibata kicked out at 1, which is now the new thing, which happened 2 more times on the show. Then Eddie wins with the powerbomb after, all that stuff was going on. And it wasn't a bad match, but again, there's no heat here. It's just a match. Your turn, bro.
Yeah, I liked it a little bit more than you, but I kind of feel the same in that it's not exactly the kind of thing. It doesn't feel like something that we've been kind of anticipating, It was hard hitting, as to be expected. Overindulgent with the back and forth striking thing. It's just that needs to just stop. We get it. You're tough. You don't need to do that thing to show us that you're tough. We already know that it's tough just taking a back bump, for God's sake. This match was an example of why Kingston is a special talent. He was over with the crowd. He's authentic. He's probably not the same stylistically, but he could fit that Mick Foley type role for AEW, where he's like the everyman that people... Like, John Moxley wants to fill that role. You can tell he wants to fill that role and be the badass at the same time. But that's not going to happen. Eddie Kingston is that authentic, tough street fighter persona for this company. Shibata's a good wrestler. I could see him being a nice fit for any major promotion. I actually gave the match a B-. I thought it was pretty good, but it was pretty good in a vacuum. It wasn't like it was anything that was going to change the landscape of wrestling.
Yep. But yeah, look, it's okay. Look, it's a strong style match. It's a different flavor on the show. I get it. That's no problem. AEW TBS title match. Kris Statlander champion, defending against Julia Hart with Brody King at ringside. 8 minutes, 56 seconds. Juicy Boy again.
This was the best match of Julia Hart's career so far. She's clearly learning. She obviously has a will to learn how to do this properly, because you can see it in how much she's improving. Everything she's been doing, the timing of it, the physicality of it, it looks great. I'm seeing money when I watch Julia Hart. She's, starting to arrive as a performer. Statlander's over as well. Feels like a star when you watch her. WWE will make a play for Statlander one day, and she'll probably go there. I think that Statlander's got that same quality that a performer like Bailey possesses as a babyface, where she's likable, like people like her. Talking about Kris Statlander, and she comes across like someone that's nice, and it's sort of not often that somebody kind of puts that across naturally when they're in the ring. So I thought this was a good match. I gave it a C+.
Very nice, bro. So here comes our token women's match for the show. There's one on this card.
Yeah, out of 4 hours, there was only one.
Yep. Did you know out of the last 82 AEW pay-per-view matches, which is 6 pay-per-views, there have been 11 matches out of 82 that have involved women. And 8 of them were on the main pay-per-view. 3 have been on pre-shows. 11 out of 82 pay-per-view matches in the last 6 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
That is fucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, like, I thought this was a great match, and it was good, but I was also thinking, like, Jesus, there was barely even a segment involving, there wasn't even any other segments involving the women.
I don't know what he's doing, because it's just so blatantly obvious. Like, surely Saraya versus Hikaru Shida could have made the show.
We didn't
because
see
Saraya
anything.
defended the belt against Toni Storm since winning it, but she hasn't defended it against Shida, who was the former champion. Just Toni. It's been 5 weeks since she fucking won the belt. She's defended it once. There's been 2 pay-per-views.
No fallout from what's been going on with her group since, like, Toni Storm split from it, or they've now had a match while they've been a part of that group. So no addressing whatever's going on there. Like,
but where's Shida's return match? She was the champion in London. She doesn't. They're not in the show. They're not on the show.
They didn't even mention her name. Like, she didn't even get mentioned on commentary.
So Julia Hart has a 28 match winning streak going to this, and I'm like, where have these matches taken place? There's no way that she's been on the last 27 episodes of television, or last 27 weeks of television, winning match after match after match. There's no way. This all goes back to matches on AEW Dark when that show was around. I guarantee it. I love Julia's moonsault. That was really cool. I did not expect that from her. She has improved quite a lot. I was hating that the crowd were going for the heel, though. They can't make their mind up. They just go for whoever hit the most specky move the most recently.
Their neck beards in there, and it's a cute blonde
themselves. Statlander wins, which she knew that she would. But yeah, 1 women's match on this 10-match card. 2 out of 14 matches had women in it, and this was the shortest match on the pay-per-view. Not counting 0 hour, but they got the shortest amount of time. Okay, right. Let's move forward again here, bro. AEW World Tag Team Title #1 Contendership 4-way match. Hook, Orange Cassidy, the Young Bucks, Lucha Brothers, and the Gunns. Guess what? Not only did this go 12 minutes, 13 seconds, but it's 12 minutes, 13 seconds that I did not watch this pay-per-view. I skipped this match. I was not going to put myself through watching the fucking Lucha Brothers. I can't stand Penta, especially the Young Bucks, because I can't stand them. And I don't mind Orange Cassidy sometimes, but I honestly, since seeing him exchange destroyers with Penta a few weeks ago, I have no time for him at all. And Hook is green. I like the Gunns, but I wasn't going to watch this. I wasn't going to put myself through the pain of it. What did you think of the match?
Okay, so unfortunately, I did. There were a couple of times where I couldn't grin and bear it, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" But I did unfortunately watch this match. And I this is the 3rd or 4th match, I believe, that we're now reviewing. 3rd match on the main show, if I'm not mistaken. As soon as it's in my notes here, it's written, because I was writing these as I went along in real time. All the people involved in this match immediately, bro. Like, I'm not exaggerating. You can actually go back and look at it. Within 25 seconds of the bell ringing, all of the people involved in this match disregarded and ignored the rules in some way and started doing some crazy shit where multiple people were involved. The prior matches up to this point on the pay-per-view, because I'm looking at each match on this card in the context of the overall show. Up until we got to this multi-person match here, the prior matches all used the rules of the match to tell their story. This one, conversely, wouldn't have been able to tell any kind of story unless the rules were ignored, which is exactly what they did. They ignored the rules and just kept on doing obvious cooperative things, tandem punches at the same time where they're moving in lockstep like it's synchronized dance. Blatantly, the camera mics on the outside is picking up as one buck goes like, duck and hit him over there. Like, you can hear him calling this shit in the ring as they're doing all this convoluted stuff. Rick Knox, who I never used to get on Rick Knox as God, because I am a PWG fan. I enjoyed the independent style on independent shows, because when the show doesn't have to have angles and things like that in it, it's great, because you go there and you just want to see great matches and everyone just gets pissed and it's a good atmosphere. And on those shows, you don't notice it as much, but this is not those shows. This is a nationally broadcast pay-per-view that this costs money to pay for. And all of this crazy shit is going on. They're doing dance move after dance move after dance move, and the referee is just standing there. No 5 counts being administered. No notice of whether someone's got the tag ropes being administered. Hardly any note of trying to make sure that this person doesn't interfere. Like, yet they did do one spot at one point where the Gunn brothers tried to outsmart everyone else and like tag each other into the match and then pin each other. But they'd already broken the rules like 10 times by the time they did that. So why did the rules suddenly count just for that moment there? But it didn't matter moments before, when everyone involved in the match was just wailing on each other and it was all pandemonium. It's undeniable that these guys have some level of athletic ability. They can do a lot of gymnastic stuff. The Young Bucks have a weird charisma to them, but unfortunately, the way that they've decided to use that annoying, weird charisma is in the wrong way. No one in this match tried in any way to make it seem like it was supposed to resemble an athletic contest at all. It got very old, very fast. You skipped it, bro. It pretty much was exactly what you probably would think in your mind that it was, even though you missed it. Like Penta doing the Sierra Dieto thing like 600 times, wearing the red attire, just fucking garbage. All right?
I knew it.
It was shit. It was shit. It was really annoying. Like, it was a sour note. Once I got to this match on the show, I was like, oh, like I'd been enjoying it up to this point, and then it was like, oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
That's why I skipped it, because I knew it would just fucking piss me off, because they just do whatever it is that they want to do. And at the end of the day, realism doesn't fucking matter. All the most guilty people.
Oh yeah, and they had
are in this match, except for the
they
Guns
had
and
JR. They had JR on the call for this match as well, I think.
Just to rub it in his face.
Sorry, no, they didn't have JR on yet, but even the commentators they did have on, I think I heard one of them someone mentioned the rules. Someone actually pointed out the refereeing again. Anyways, so what was next?
Look, while you were talking a little bit there, I did a little bit of research, because I really wanted to like double down on this Julia Hart 28 match winning streak thing that Excalibur was going on about. And I was right. It does date back to the days of Dark and Elevation. In fact, it had been 523 days, or 1 year, 5 months, and 5 days since the day she got that first win of the 28 win streak, right? So that's nearly a year and a half. Since her 15th win in a row, though, that was 284 days ago, or 9 months and 10 days. So you mean to tell me you get 15 wins in a row and it still takes you 9 months and 10 days and another 13 matches that you win in order to get a TBS title shot? What the fuck is this? Don't go on about the winning streaks then. If it takes this long for someone to actually get a fucking title match, when people get title matches willy-nilly, I want them to stop with this fucking win-loss record bullshit and get over it, because when someone like me pokes holes in it, it now makes it look stupid. Thank you. Just wanted to do that because I had to. Let's move forward, bro.
Absolutely.
Adam Page, Hangman Page, the man that, I guess in a sense kind of ruined AEW because he was the one that decided to instigate shit with CM Punk, which has now led to all that drama, which has now led to Punk leaving, which has now led to me barely caring about this company. Good work, Hangman. I know that you were threatened by him because you were in line to lose the belt to him, and you're worried about your spot, and so were your little friends too.
That's same dipshit that like literally went on an interview and said that you don't need to listen to the veterans in the business and take advice. Yeah, the whole business has literally been built for the last 75, 80, 100 years almost since the Gold Dust Trio kind of revolutionized wrestling in America and kind of invented almost pro wrestling as it's known. And they passed down what they knew to the generation beneath them, and so on and so on. But no, this guy reckons that he's too good for that. So this match went next. Him versus Swerve Strickland. By the way, it went on after this big multi-man match. It pissed me off that this match went on after this big multi-man match, because now we went from a match that left a sour taste in my mouth to another match which was likely going to have a similar effect.
Yeah, so that match beforehand went 12 minutes 13. Now this one goes 20 minutes and 12 seconds. Why do they get given 20 minutes? It's strange. They get given 20 minutes, but Julia Hart and Kris Statlander get given 8.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because Hangman's in the match, and because now that Punk's gone and all that, they can go back to doing whatever they want, and they can get all the time and the biggest time on the show. That's what's going to happen. I see through their shit, bro. I see through their shit.
It's so funny that and like, yeah, I admit it. There is a lot of tribalism in wrestling between the fans. It's hard to sort of genuinely be a fan and of both companies and sort of not have a preference between the two big companies. But one thing that I don't think anyone could deny is that the elite aren't ashamed about making themselves the centerpieces of the promotion, and obviously it's partially named after them and all that, but you'd think that they'd be humbled by the fact that this promotion is like built around them and built off the back of something they helped create and they're executives in this company. But instead of taking a back seat and letting other people shine and using what they can do to elevate other people and create great memories for their promotion from a business standpoint, it still feels like it's all about them just getting all the attention on the show itself and like showing off and getting more attention for the magazines and what have you. It's a strange thing, but that's how I feel.
These guys don't lose unless they get killed. Unless they get killed and get hit with things over and over again. Like, they're always so strong, like...
Yeah.
I see through their shit, and I don't want to keep harping on it because we haven't got to the match properly yet. But like,
Yeah.
one instance. So we have one instance before Hangman Page went into business for himself and cut that promo on Punk, which he didn't clear any of that stuff with him prior. Name one instance where CM Punk had done anything behind the scenes that had any drama whatsoever. He works with Kingston, who they don't like each other, yet they seem to get through that match fine, and they would have gone over what they were going to say towards one another prior. The point I'm trying to bring up here is Punk's in line to take Heyman's belt. They're all starting to get worried because clearly Tony Khan, his new favorite is CM Punk, to the point where at the scrums, he's defending Punk to Eric Bischoff's comments, and he's going, CM Punk gave us the first ever $1 million gate in AEW history, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're getting threatened by him. Hangman's the champion, and now they find out that Punk's going to beat him for the belt. I see through their shit. They started to worry about their spots, worry that it wasn't going to be all elite wrestling anymore. And they went into, they fucked him over. They fucked him over, and now he's gone. That's what fucks me off about them. I'm sorry to go on the rant, bro, because we've still got 7 matches to talk about.
I don't care. I don't care. It needs to be said. It's our channel.
Me, man. It annoys me.
Like, and you know what? I actually do hope that CM Punk ends up finding his way to like WWE or even Impact or wherever, just so that he goes somewhere else, just because I know it'll be more successful than his AEW run.
Like, you know that they were fucking with him, because if they really wanted to do good business, when he came back from his fucking injury, they would have said, okay, let's fucking do this angle with us against you and FTR. Let's fucking shoot on the microphone. Let's do this. Let's make some money. Everyone wanted to see Punk and Omega and Punk and Hangman again, and Punk and the Bucks and FTR. They all wanted to see it, but they didn't do it. Fuck them.
Yeah, should have been the Bucks and Page versus maybe like FTR and somebody else, and then Punk versus Omega at Wembley.
Yeah. Everyone wanted to see it, you know.
Yeah,
they didn't do it.
Let's get to the match, though, bro. So who's going first? All right, okay, I'll keep it quick. This match was way too self-important. I'm gonna do that old thing, the old Family Guy gag. It insisted upon itself. And when I say that in a wrestling context, it means they worked the match as if it was the main event, the highlight of the show, as if they were making a memory that everyone in the arena was going to remember for their lifetime, which the main event was a time where we would see things like that happen later on, because I do like to give credit where credit is due. But the Adam Page and Strickland, particularly Page, but I'm picking on Page a little bit because I'm biased against him at the moment, but they worked it as if they were having the main event. And a lot of people at home may be like, well, what's the problem? You want every match on there to go out there and steal the show. You want every match on the show to be as good as it can be, but you want it to follow the template of what it is. There needs to be ebbs and flows, valleys and peaks in a wrestling card so that you don't get burned out on nonstop bullshit. This match wasn't helped by the fact that it followed directly on from the flustercluck that preceded it. It seemed like, once again, the whole time I was watching it, it just felt like they're trying to do so much stuff. They think that they're having such a good match, and I'm just not really feeling it. Thank God Swerve won the match. I gave it a C-. Like, I had to be fair and give it a C- because the crowd was really into it. Everything that they actually did was proficient, but I wasn't really into it personally as a fan. I thought it was overbloated and went too long.
The thing I liked most about this whole thing was Prince Nana's dancing during the entrance. I don't know if you saw it, but
I also popped for the whole thing of him getting ejected, and like I popped for that.
I like Prince Nana. He's cool. So the fans are going for Swerve because he's from Seattle. That's cool. That's fine. That's bound to happen.
Yep.
Okay, here come my complaints for Hangman, and I'm not just doing it because I'm mad at him because of the Punk thing. He's just so settled into his way of wrestling. He laid out Swerve on the outside. This is what happened, Juicy Boy. I'm not sure if you noticed this. He starts to climb to the top rope for his top rope moonsault to the outside that he does on every single pay-per-view. He climbed to the top, and then he just moonsaulted. He didn't do the thing where you quickly check, like that's what you do if this were real. You add that little bit of psychology. You quickly look to make sure that the guy's in the spot that you're aiming for. Not just on a whim, hope that Swerve happens to still be in the spot that you want him to be in to cop the top rope moonsault.
Yeah.
He just jumps.
And
I'm
it's
like,
not just
assuming he's there. You got to add those little things, because when you don't, people like me notice it and go, fuck, man. Like, think about the details.
And before you move on from that point, I just want to throw in there, because that's a great observation you made. I wouldn't have even picked up on it. Like, it's not just about the fact that, because when he does that blind moonsault and he doesn't look back to see where the guy is, it's not just about the fact that if it was real, the guy could potentially just walk out of the way and he hasn't seen. If you were actually trying to do that to somebody in real life as an offensive move, you're going to want to make sure that you're actually fucking hitting your target properly before you launch yourself. That's why you've got to look. Every time you ever see like Shawn Michaels go up for a moonsault, Kurt Angle, people like that, you see them do a little bit of a look and then they fucking dive.
Well, they look between their legs,
Yeah.
But you know why? You know how I noticed it? It's because I don't know what I think he powerbombed him onto the ring apron, and then maybe he slung him against the barricade, or he did something to the barricade. The reason why I noticed
he just climbed up.
The reason why I noticed it is because where he threw him into the barricade was way off the spot that the Swerve was going to be in to catch him for the moonsault.
Yeah,
that's why I noticed it. So I'm like, how do you know he's going to be there? He's like 5-6 meters away from the target that he's going to be at, bro. Like
a video game triggering an animation when you're in that part of the area.
Exactly. So then after that, I don't know. Swerve happens to be with Nana at ringside, and then we get the suicide dive for the sake of it. And that's where I'm like, Hangman's offense, there's no rhyme or reason behind it. He just hits moves one after another. Yeah. There's no psychology. Swerve slaps his leg when he chops people. What? Why, dude? What's with this? I don't know if what Rich Swann does in Impact Wrestling is starting to get around the industry, but we got to stop with the slapping of the leg when you don't need a slap. You're already doing a slap. You're chopping him.
Just fucking hit the guy. The sound of the slap is supposed to come from the contact. Like, sorry. That's how it's supposed to work.
Here's another spot, bro. Okay, I'm sorry that I'm picking on this match, but I don't care. I have to. Swerve does his stomp onto Hangman, who was had his legs caught in a tree of woe, and he's holding the top rope, and he's just staring at Swerve.
Yeah,
and Excalibur says, Hangman could see it coming, but couldn't do anything about it. How about let go, cunt?
Yeah,
let go and let yourself flop down into that tree of woe. So Swerve's now screwed. I'm sorry, but
he misses you.
You got to do things that's what you would do if it were real, but he's just letting it happen to him. No. I don't care if you want to still hit the move and find a way to do it. Don't do it if it's unrealistic on that point. Why would anyone just let that happen? Deadeye on the steps again. This is just hitting moves. Here's another thing. Here's some more maths that I put together here. I was watching the referee after the Deadeye on the steps. Well, just before that, when I think Swerve had jumped off the top rope, he landed on the ring apron, and then I don't know, something with him and Hangman happened. But this was when they finally were both on the outside for the first time at this point of the match, right? I was watching the referee, watching him, and I'm doing a count myself. 1, 2, 3. I'm doing a count like a regular referee would. Not 1, 2, 3. I'm doing it like a referee does. I got to 47. And then that's when Swerve got thrown back into the ring. They were both on the outside for 47 counts from 1 hour 23:56 to 1 hour 25:30 in the video that I had. 94 actual seconds they were on the outside and the referee's fucking around with his count just to let them stay on the outside for longer. There was a perfect chance at one stage for Swerve. He was sitting on the ring apron to quickly roll in and roll back out to stop the count and restart it, but he didn't do it because they're too busy thinking about their next spots, not thinking about keeping it realistic. I wanted to do that because I could tell they're out there a long time. I'm rewinding, and I'm going to put this out there for everyone to check out.
There's a real problem with that kind of shit. Like it's not a scene in a movie, guys. It's a live performance. It can't just be edited to whichever the desired length is. It's got to take place within that 10-second count.
Because it is 10 seconds in AEW, right? It's not 20, right?
I don't know if do you remember back in our days where we were actually wrestling, bro? I don't know if you were at this particular training session, but I remember that a match took place between two trainees, and they decided they were having fun messing around in the match because it was at training and all the guys were there, and they got reamed out after when they got themselves counted out of the match because they ended up getting sidetracked in what they were doing, and the Slate was in the ring counting, and he counted him out, and then he was like, "What the fuck are you doing over there? Did I tell you that this was supposed to finish in a count out?" Like, no, I didn't, because there was an assigned winner and loser. Yeah. So it just goes to show, it's like these things are supposed to matter. They're supposed to be important. When you ignore them, people pick up on it. Sorry, we've been harping on some things, but it needs to be fucking said, because too many people go online and they act like it's the greatest shit they've ever seen. That's why. It's fine if you enjoy it. It's fine if you're a fan of it.
Yeah.
But it needs to be mentioned that a lot of this stuff is fairly egregious errors.
It's very elementary shit is what I'm saying. And maybe you guys would fucking know about that stuff if you listen to people who are more experienced. And you're copying it from people who are less experienced. Swerve, for the love of God, slap the leg that you aren't kicking with because it hides it better. Why do you guys do it like that on the leg you're kicking with? Just hide it on the side of your leg, just here. Just hide it like that. Because people are going to be looking at the motion of your leg when you're kicking, and it's really easy, bro. You don't have to be so obvious. Anyway, I've had enough of talking about this match. We finally got some semblance of psychology with Swerve's hand. Nana gets involved. The referee asks Nana about 5 times, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?"
I popped for it, though.
And I'm like, you know what he was doing. You saw him. What's with the fucking... anyway, this is another annoying thing. Hangman gets hit with Nana's crown. I guess he had left it on the ring apron or whatever. Of course, Hangman kicks out, and then Swerve has to hit one more move. They do it all the time, these guys. Swerve's bad for it, but so are the Elite. They have to do one more thing after the thing that was that was the perfect way to end it. They're going to do one more thing for the finish. 20 minutes, 12 seconds. Look, bro, let's get the hell out of this. And let's move forward.
Let's move on.
Fuck. I had to pick on that match, bro, because I'm like, nah, they're not getting away with it.
Okay. Because it's fucking annoying, man.
Oh! Coming up next, match with the worst build I've seen in a long time. Ricky Starkz versus Wheeler Yuta.
Okay.
Man. Okay.
All right. Take us through this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I only wrote 8 things. Okay. The build up to this, because I watched the package beforehand, because I was like, how did we arrive at this? Because Starkz was just feuding with Bryan Danielson. Because after the match, Ricky Starkz went to go shake Bryan Danielson's hand, and Wheeler went up to him and shoved him a little bit. They have a backstage confrontation where they talk about the little shove, and Ricky says, "If you ever touch me again, then whatever." And then Wheeler Yuta says, "Well, how about on October 1st? We settle it." And I'm like, you just make your own matches as well, do you?
Yeah.
That makes so much sense in the world. A little shove. It wasn't even like an aggressive shove. It was like a little...
Yeah, man. It's because it's just like how in real combat sports, like how them high-paid boxers and UFC fighters, they make their own fights just on a whim like that, you know?
Oh man, my notes, bro. I'm so mad in capital letters. I'm like, why is Moxley back on commentary? Please.
You know?
Nigel McGuinness was talking and Moxley fucking cut him off mid-sentence. Then Excalibur, when Moxley was done talking, immediately after, he then interrupts Excalibur talking. Then he gives some advice to Wheeler Yuta. I don't know, something happened. And he yelled into his microphone, breathe through your nose, Wheeler. Yeah, great advice, dickhead. Great advice, because he thought he was winded. Breathe through your nose. He can't hear you, bro. He can't hear you. You're on commentary. It's too distracting. He's giving like notes to the wrestlers in the ring, and they can't hear him because he's just talking normally.
Yeah.
20 meters away, bro. Then
God.
he's talking about Ricky Starkz being good looking, doesn't know whether to fight him or take him on a date. You're not funny, bro. You're not funny.
Yeah.
Big Bill comes out. Yuta unrealistically sends Bill into the ring post like Bill had been catapulted by King Kong Bundy. Moxley's analysis and his cheerleading for Wheeler was very irritating. The match has no heat, just a little shove. There's no heat behind it. People don't know who to go for because they don't know if Blackpool Combat Club are heels or not because they've been portrayed as heels the last few months. Ricky's a heel. This was a TV match. Good finisher there from Ricky Starkz, but this was a TV match. Take it away, bro.
Yeah, this is this was a bad match, but it was still probably the most tolerable Wheeler's ever been since I've seen him wrestle. Having said that, he looks like a teenager compared to Ricky Starkz, who himself isn't a huge guy. This was a decent match, and Ricky Starkz is a star, but I don't buy Wheeler in any way, shape, or form as being some kind of tough guy shooter. And he may be, once again, he may very well be an ass kicker. He may be a fucking black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He may be in the gym throwing kicks. He may be lethal, but he does not look like that. It doesn't fit the way that a lot of people don't realize Santino Marella in real life is like a pretty legit shooter, but that's not the character that he played on TV, you know? It doesn't fit. The character doesn't fit the actor in this case. And I wrote in capital letters, and I'm going to hop on this a bit because it really ruined the match. Fucking hell, Jon Moxley is irritating on commentary. The F-bombs that he let slip, the times where he's trying to cover up the mic and be like, don't fucking put up with that, Wheeler. And dude, okay. Unfortunately, they would also put him on there during the Danielson Sabre Jr. match, which was the match I was most looking forward to seeing because I'm a huge fan of both of those guys, and we'll get to that in a minute. But he was really annoying in this match, and they kept on cutting back to him, and he'd be constantly there trying to act like he was being all nonchalant and stuff. Him
so much.
They kept on cutting to him, and he kept on trying to do like a mix between Stone Cold at the commentary booth, Jericho at the Shawn Michaels at the commentary booth, and fucking trying to do like a mix of 4 different Attitude Era guys whenever they'd sit at commentary, trying to be funny and stuff, trying to be all chummy with the announcers. The announcers were clearly sort of getting annoyed at him because he kept on just cutting them off and shit like that, and he kept on drowning them out. And the reason I'm harping in on this is because this really detracted from the match. This did nothing to help Wheeler Yuta. And all it really did was take away from Ricky Stark's opportunity on this event to shine. If there is some kind of idea or edict or feeling or intuition in Tony Khan's mind that it is a good idea to put Jon Moxley on the commentary booth for Blackpool Combat Club matches as a regular thing going forward, disregard that intuition, please, Tony Khan. It is not a good idea.
I'm glad you noticed it, bro.
It is not a good idea. It was bad. It was worse than Chris Jericho on commentary. And anyone that remembers that knows how terrible that was. This was worse than that.
Jericho was bad. He was bad.
This was worse. Somehow.
All right. Let's move forward. We haven't got many to go.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr., 23 minutes, 12 seconds. Before I let you go, I'm going to let you know. When I realized Moxley was on commentary for this too, I heard at one stage Nigel McGuinness, he literally told John Moxley, John, take a breath. He literally told him to take a breath. He's giving him the hint, bro, shut the fuck up for a second so we can all talk. He cut people off in this again. Yeah. I had to watch this match on mute. I had to turn off the sound. I couldn't hear anything that was going on. I had to mute it because I couldn't handle it any longer. I wanted to focus on the fucking match, and he was too distracting. Anyway, take it away. The big dream match here for WrestleDream, Danielson and ZSJ.
So, Zack Sabre Jr., I've been a fan of his for quite a long time now. Obviously, fans might have seen him most prominently when he was in the Cruiserweight Classic some time ago, which Bryan Danielson, of course, was commentating at that time. And Zack Sabre Jr. was eliminated in the first round or second round, I believe, but he put on great performances. This match here at this show was match of the show, a technical clinic that maintained the illusion of a genuine competition. It worked within the rules of the match, and they used holds. This match could have been the main event on any card in the world, even in the WWE, because even in WWE, they appreciate wrestling to the point, like this would have been over in front of a WWE crowd as well. Such is what happens when two master technicians get in the ring, with one of them being a Hall of Fame caliber star, as Bryan Danielson is. So it's two of the best technical wrestlers in the world. JR did a great job in the booth. This is the kind of match that you want good old JR, Jim Ross out there to call. Awesome. Nigel McGuinness and Jim Ross have great chemistry on commentary. Nigel McGuinness and Taz have great chemistry on commentary together. In my notes again, holy fuck, John Moxley was irritating. I wrote here, bro, John Moxley commentating this masterpiece of a match is like minting the Mona Lisa as an NFT. It's just an absolute abortion of a soundtrack for a match like this. Do you understand me? I'm going to look at the camera. It is a crime against humanity that we had to witness this match, this incredible match.
First time ever.
Incredible dream match. Two wrestlers I've admired as a fan for a long time. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that was feeling that way about this match going in. And it was marred somewhat by this guy trying to crack jokes, trying to act tough, trying to be like, oh yeah, Brian will just let you put something on him just so he can wrestle out of it. No, he doesn't, you dipshit.
Fuck off. God.
He puts people in traps, you fuckhead. He doesn't just wrestle his way out of shit just to be tough.
Fuck.
Okay. He's on there commentating. He's hardly even staying in character. It's Brian just loves to wrestle, and he's just, it's fucking dude, they're literally having the best match on the show, and it's an incredible match and the biggest match of Zack Sabre Jr.'s career. And this guy is just that. I'm harping on it again because once again, Tony, seriously, bro, I know you're never going to see this. You cannot just be like, oh yeah, it'll be a good idea to put John on for every Blackpool Combat Club match. You cannot just do that. The announcers are the soundtrack to the fucking movie. If each match is a movie, the announcers are your fucking soundtrack. I gave the match an A+. It's got the Juicy Boy recommendation. Go out of your way to check it out because I can't do it justice here, and I'm done talking about it. It was incredible. Zack Sabre Jr. deserves a contract in AEW or the WWE. I know he's flourishing in New Japan, but he's put on the size. I want to see him go on to bigger and better things. He's been toiling away for a long time. Fuck Moxley's commentary. It sucked.
Okay, cool, bro. I don't have anything to add. Okay, whatever Juicy Boy said then, I pretty much agree with, except I think the match of the show was the main event. Okay, let's move forward. 6-man tag team match, Chris Jericho and the Golden Lovers against the Don Callis family of Takeshita, Sammy Guevara, and Will Ospreay. I skipped the entrances. I thought to myself, this is a real weak pay-per-view that lacks heat. Thank God Moxley isn't on commentary. I liked the exchanges with Omega and Ospreay. Sammy completely missed a drop kick by a mile. I didn't like something that Excalibur said about Sammy didn't like having to do Jericho's bidding or play second fiddle to him. And I'm like, well, why would he be in a group with a guy why would he be in a group that has a leader that isn't him? If he's got a leader of a group, then he's going to have to do bidding and play second fiddle. That's why he joined the fucking group. Don't say dumb shit, Excalibur. It doesn't make sense. Sammy Guevara runs over to the announce table, grabs Taz's microphone and says, Sammy Guevara is so damn good. Screw Jericho. He sucks. Sammy Guevara's the man. Come on, baby. Let's go. You have no personality.
Annoying
you're overrated.
voice.
The only reason you're in the spot that you're in is because Tony Khan is your friend and you make him believe that you're his friend, okay? You make him believe it. Yeah, you hang out with him. Yeah, you have your little picture with him, with your wife there at your wedding. That's the only reason why you're on TV, because you are overrated. And there are so many guys that do the exact same stuff that you do in the ring, and they don't get the spots that you do. And you shouldn't be in that spot because you have no personality.
Honestly, dude, his voice is just monotone. It never changes. Just continue on. I'm
wondering where this Takeshita Omega angle is going. This is like the third pay-per-view in a row, I think, where Omega and Takeshita have been in multi-man matches. Let's end this already. Let's get to the singles match. I don't know what the hell's going on. Aubrey Edwards, there's a moment where they are cheating with the abdominal stretch and holding each other's hand. She goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And then she stops, and then she kicks the hand. No. Count to 5 and disqualify him. That's how it works.
Yeah. You got to build to that kicking the hand thing. You don't just do the...
Yeah, get to 5, realize, oh, man, I shouldn't DQ because this is an important match. Show that, then kick the fucking hand. What are you doing? The referee's been copying a lot of shit lately, so why do stuff like this? Ugh. Yeah. Sammy fucked up a cutter. My eyes were getting very heavy in this match because I didn't care about the match.
Nah. Neither.
Jericho kicked out at one stage after being hit with some specky thing, and I was like, I told you this spot was going to get overdone now. I didn't write anything else after that. I did watch the end of the match. Sammy Guevara pinned Jericho, didn't he? Whatever. Okay, Juicy Boy, tell me what you thought. We've got, this is 3 matches to go.
Yeah, I know. So as you can see right now, bro, I'm kind of sitting here doing my best impersonation of a hot dog. And for everyone at home, this was the mannequin-like pose that I assumed while I was sitting in this room watching this match on this pay-per-view. This was annoying, nonsensical, irritating. It overstayed its welcome. It again felt like it was self-grandiose and self-important, and like it was, we're all doing so, it's so wild, and the energy is just so frantic in this match, and they were really trying to put that idea over. It was annoying as living shit, but thanks to the inherent talent of people like Ospreay, Omega, Ibushi, Takeshita, and Jericho, basically everyone bar Sammy Guevara.
Yep.
this was more tolerable than the Young Bucks, the big multi-man match that they were involved in. But still, it was really annoying. It went on forever, and I was already burned out as hell by this point, especially, like, I loved Zack Sabre versus Bryan Danielson, but because of Moxley on commentary, I had had enough by the time this match started, and I wasn't into it. I gave it a C, because it was all right, but meh.
Yeah, like it wasn't horrible or anything, but it went 22 minutes and 10 seconds.
Who fucking cares? It's nearly half an hour.
It's just too much, man. A lot of the problem that I have with the AEW pay-per-views is that they just there's too much going on, and you get burned out, man. You get too burned out because you're just letting them just go as long as they want, do as much as they want, and it's like, man, like we need some peaks and valleys a little bit sometimes. You know, we need palate cleansers. We need things to change up a little bit here and there. Anyway, so the next matchup, AEW World Tag Team Titles. This went 20 minutes and 26 seconds, and I also thought that this went way too long for a match where we already knew who was winning beforehand. I reckon 12 at most this should have been given. I remember, and as I said to you at one stage, I said, I can't believe there's still 55 minutes left in this show. Like, what else is going to happen?
It just goes on forever.
Fuck. Anyway, bro, let me know what you thought of FTR and Aussie Open.
Okay, so I'm sorry to say, but I don't really see much from Aussie Open. Like, it's not that I don't think that they're decent wrestlers, but do I think that out of all the wrestlers that are hidden away in Australia, toiling away every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know, in Sydney, Perth, Melbourne, Brisbane, all over the country, do I think that out of all of that pool of great Australian talent that we have, that these guys deserve to be in AEW in a match like this? Not really. Like, I'll be honest, like, people can shit on me for that. People that may know these guys, may have trained with them or whatever locally, shit on me for it if you want. I don't see anything. Obviously, they're way better than I could ever be in the ring, but I don't see anything special from them. And it's really unfortunate that this followed the Omega Ospreay 6-man match, because there was a massive case of burnout on my behalf watching through this. Both teams, physically speaking, look great. They look like they're a tag team. Tag teams, one thing AEW is good at is that they actually have a roster of teams who are there to be teams, and they are there to win team accolades. I like that. FTR always do a great job, but honestly, this is the first FTR match in a long time that I just felt like was just kind of there, and I just really couldn't get invested and found it really hard to be interested at all. I knew FTR, like you said, was going to retain. I felt like this was something I would have expected to see on like Ring of Honor TV or like a TV match. And 20 minutes is fucking ridiculous. If you're going to do like Jay White and Juice Robinson in a rematch against FTR, I can see 20 minutes. Yeah, I can see 20 minutes for that, but not for this match. Anyway, over to you.
You know what I felt when I saw that this match was coming up? It was the exact same thing I felt when we got to, it was a few pay-per-views ago. There was a Finn Balor, Seth Rollins title match. Yeah. And we're like, oh, come on another fucking long match. Like, I wanted this time for the main event, you know? Like, this is what it felt like. And I'm a big fan of FTR. I actually think Aussie Open are great. I would like to get to know their characters more, because all I ever seem to see is them wrestle matches and for the most part lose. So I don't see how this makes the pay-per-view. To me, this is a TV match. And Anywho, look, sometimes, yes, some matches could be for the sake of competition. Leave that to television, okay? Give me something to sink my teeth into. When we get to a pay-per-view, I want the build from the weeks of TV, your 3 TV shows you have on every single week. There should be no excuse as to why we don't have a compelling angle for me, the fan, to sink my teeth into when I watch that hype package beforehand. There is no reason why all these matches shouldn't have had great build, considering you've had some time now, like 5 weeks or so. And if you're going to be having one pay-per-view a month, Tony, then you better fucking get that sort of quick smart. Because it's not enough. It's not enough to invest people. You're not going to get people to return. Like, I kind of don't want to cover this company anymore, because I feel like 5.5 hours is a very long time to invest in this when I'm not enjoying myself at all. Anyway,
I dread it. I dread it every time they're having a pay-per-view, because it's like, oh God, how long is it going to go for? And how much dumb shit are we going to have to sit through?
Yeah, I'm the exact same, bro. Anyway, look, I've got nothing else really to add.
Yeah.
I just thought that, there was a lot of kicking out of stuff that they probably didn't need to be kicked out of. The match just didn't need that much time. Maybe if it was like a big time feud, then okay, but it's not. Okay, let's get to the main event of the evening here. AEW TNT title, best 2 out of 3 falls match. Christian Cage versus Darby Allin. 25 minutes, 17 seconds.
Okay.
Shit, I've written a lot. Do you want to go first? Or...
All right, I'll go first because I have less. All right. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say I think that this is the second best match of the show. Just barely. I think the Danielson Sabre Jr. match beat it out, but this match is getting an A-. Incredible match, worthy of the time that it was allotted. Christian may be the best overall performer in AEW right now. Amazing work from Darby Allin. He's a genuine homegrown babyface. And no, I'm not going to not credit Tony Khan for it, because obviously Tony is smart enough to see that Darby was perfect at filling that role, and he's done well in that regard, even though you could tell that initially Tony wanted to push Orange Cassidy or Jungle Boy more in that direction. But, it was going to be Darby Allin. He had that weird charisma. So that's one thing that Tony's gotten right. The layout and planning of this match was flawless. Christian's an incredible heel. Nick Wayne's mom is fucking smoking hot, man. My fucking
She's
God,
gorgeous,
dude.
Bro.
Fucking
I was
hell,
like, that's
man.
Nick Wayne's mum.
No wonder Buddy Wayne's dead. He fucking dropped dead, probably just watching her get out of the shower one morning. Fucking just like,
oh, that's a horrible thing to say. But
honestly,
it makes
though,
sense,
man,
bro. It's
just
a compliment.
his chicken just couldn't take it anymore, man. Like, brutal stuff on the outside with the steps and the stretcher from Christian. Tries to toss Darby from the ring to the outside onto the corners of the steps. Darby doesn't make it and over rotates and lands on his feet, but it still looks pretty brutal. Christian then goes to the outside, steps on the apron, picks him up, tries to Falcon Arrow him onto them steps again. They don't quite get it. You can tell that they're having trouble getting the lift. Christian eventually just sort of get sick of fucking around with it. He knows he's got to deliver. This is an example of him being such a pro. Picks him up, turns it into a body slam lift, which is a little easier for Darby to post off of and get a push off. And then he just fucking dumps Darby onto the corners of these steps.
So far.
And it's so funny because Christian throughout this whole match just has this look of like remorselessness on his face while he's literally like doing things to this young guy that he knows the consequences of, because he went through all these TLC matches and all these ladder matches and shit as a young guy, and now here he is at age 50 inflicting this damage on this young kid who's already got a taped up back from the coffin bump in Wimbledon and shit like that. So this match was incredible. I sort of thought that it was starting to get a bit long in the tooth by the time Sting was running out. All that, I feel, took a bit too much for me. Basically, after we got the frog splash on the stretcher from Christian, and Christian started pulling back the padding, and we got a couple of spots on the padding. First of all, I think they could have cut out one or two things that they did on the floorboards. And second of all, I think you may have just as well cut Sting out of the thing entirely. You may as well have just not had him run down, because it just seems like futile that Sting would even bother running down, since it's not a 2-on-2 fight at all. It's a 1-on-3 fight, because Darby's already incapacitated. By that point, you know what's going to happen. The former Edge, Adam Copeland, comes down. It's hard to nitpick that segment, but you know what? It already managed to annoy me a little bit, and I'll tell you why it managed to annoy me. And people that may have, if you've gotten this far and you're an AEW fan, I'd be surprised. But if you have, there might be people annoyed. And you know why? Because this was, first of all, the fact that they did this huge vignette that counted down towards Edge's actual entrance hitting detracted from all the heat and the drama that was going on in this huge match between Christian and Darby Allin. Okay, which this was a really good match. It was worthy of the main event spot. It was 2 out of 3 falls. It was tremendously done, as I said. You didn't need the fucking vignette with Edge and everything like that before he came out with the footage of the car and the fucking all of that different shit. That was stupid. Why would Christian and Luchasaurus and the rest of the heels, Nick Wayne and stuff like that, once he made the heel turn, why would any of them just not continue doing what they were doing and beating these guys down while that vignette plays? So then Metalingus hits, Edge comes out, despite the fact that one of the great, a 64-year-old Sting is about to get concertoed in the ring. Edge still has a full entrance, still stops on the ramp, does the pose with his fireworks. The fireworks go off. He takes his sweet time. He's doing the breathing. His eyes are wide. He's soaking it in and shit. But still, Christian's standing there waiting to end Sting's life, potentially, after doing these heinous acts that have just been committed by Edge's heel best friend. So it's already kind of illogical, right? So then Edge gets in the ring, the smoke kind of clears, the music dies down, everyone knows what's gonna fucking happen. Christian's like, go on then, Edge, give it to him, It's typical what's gonna happen. Edge turns, swings the chair at Luchasaurus instead. The crowd still popped massively for it, because it's a big star. But so he hits him, hits Luchasaurus across the shoulders. Christian again continues with the fantastic heel work. He never broke character at all once Edge came into this situation. So that's one thing about, again, the caliber of guys like Christian. I'm going on a bit longer than I thought I would, but it's all right. The fact that it's still so clear, even though Edge has now shown up in AEW, something a lot of people never thought would happen, Edge going to a different company. Christian is still focused on the fact that he's TNT champion. Soon as he realizes Edge isn't on his side, boom, he was out of that ring and up the ramp with the belt.
He's gone.
Immediately, right? Cut back to the ring. I'm still kind of annoyed, right? By the time Edge kind of tries to go out after Christian, Nick Wayne's rolled out to the side by this point. Luchasaurus swings a line, Edge ducks it, hits the ropes. Boom, he hits that spear, which honestly, out of the context of a WWE ring, suddenly it does look like quite a weak spear. When you put it out of context of everything else that Edge's character meant, it's almost like the spear now looks weaker than other spears that you see It's a strange thing, but I could be adding on to it. And then, so now we go off the air basically with Edge has arrived in AEW. And then Tony Khan would later announce at the press scrum that on Dynamite, Edge is going to wrestle Luchasaurus. Like, okay,
what?
hang on.
Fuck.
He's already announced that Edge is going to have his debut match on Dynamite on Wednesday against Luchasaurus. Who the fuck in their right mind wants to see that? You know what you book for Wednesday on Dynamite? Edge discusses why he made the decision he made at WrestleDream so that him and Christian can finally step face to face in the ring. The first time they've interacted since Royal Rumble 2021, when Christian appeared in the Royal Rumble and was eliminated, and 2020, and they re-signed Edge, and they didn't re-sign Christian, and Christian went on to AEW, and he's been a bright spot in AEW, and continues to be. So instead of having the opportunity to see what the fallout from this is going to be, no, Edge is just going to beat Luchasaurus in a quick little match, and Christian's going to be on the outside holding the TNT belt. It's just, you can say I'm nitpicking it. We've been going on for a long time. I don't care at this point because I need to get it off my chest. That's all I've got to say. I rated the match, as I said, an A. It was a tremendous match. I just don't like the visual of you debuting Edge. You've got this whole thing with Nick Wayne and his mom, and the padding's all torn. It just felt all over the shop, and it just felt nothing like the way that a debut of this magnitude should be handled. Certainly not the way that it felt when Adam Cole debuted.
Yeah,
back in the day.
I really believe Tony thinks that because Adam Copeland is there now, that this is a new era and things are going to finally change. It's not, bro.
That's not how it works.
And you're right. I didn't know about the match with Luchasaurus. As soon as I hear that, I'm like, no, you're not going to fucking do that, are you? Fuck me. You're right. It should be them in the ring talking for the first time. Let's talk about their history. Let's talk about what happened. Let's talk about where we're going from here. Fuck. Anyway.
Ratings.
I'm going to try and omit a lot of these notes, but I wanted to point out some things here. Okay. I loved the end of the first fall with a reversal of the kill switch by putting the turtleneck over Christian's head. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Christian's reaction was tremendous. He rolls to the outside. It's still on his head, and you can just see his eye. That's how you entertain people. It's a simple way to get through the first fall, and then we get to the serious stuff, right? Christian misses the splash. He takes a code red. He kicks out very late. It all proves how he's able to keep up with the young guys still. It's very quick. I love the spot with Nick Wayne's mum. She's flirting with Christian. He gets the drink in the face when he thinks he's in. Then Darby kills him with a dive. Darby's then going for a coffin drop. But Christian powders to the outside. He rolls out. So Darby turns, does a coffin drop to a standing Christian Cage. Then he throws him in the ring to go for a coffin drop. Happens to get knees on it, though, this time, because Christian's aware of what he's aiming for. And I'm like, look at how the match is being put together. Look at the difference here. Look at how Christian and Darby have applied their suspense.
Yeah.
Look at the way that they apply their suspense. They don't achieve it by just hitting a really cool move or a really spectacular move that looks like a finisher. Then another one, and then kicking out, then another one, and then kicking out, and then maybe doing a finisher, and then there's a kick out, and then there's another finisher and a kick out, whatever. Okay, that did kind of happen in this match at one stage, but by the point you got to that, it really meant something. Then, have another brutal thing taking place. This is the way that they headed towards the finish of this match, and the scenarios that they added were mixed in with the pre-existing story of why they were having this match in the first place. They were adding these peaks and valleys that made sense to the story. When he's destroying him on the stairs. And it's sickening, but that's what the character is at this point.
Yeah.
He's such a prick that he's gonna just fuck him up.
Did you notice the way that he did it though, bro? Protected that head at all times. He didn't dump he didn't dump Darby back first into that. Like Darby's
Yeah.
legs took the brunt of a lot of that. You know, it looked brutal, but it wasn't being done recklessly either.
So okay, it gets fall 2 with the count out, right? Bryce is making Christian wait. And I'm like, if this is really serious, it wouldn't take that long to get somebody out there. Now it's a stretcher job, right? This is okay, I get it. The stretcher spot was awesome. But if it's a stretcher job, the referee should be calling off the match. Fall 3 is over. He cannot continue. Why would you do a stretcher job and just tell Christian to wait? No. If there's got to be someone in the room that says, "Hey, we can still do this, but we got to figure out a way that we can keep the match going," you know, and not just like, let's hope no one notices, because I noticed. You know, they should have put a neck brace on him or something like that to make it seem real. But I love, whilst all this is happening and Christian's just letting them take their time to put him on the stretcher, he's just gone around the ring, just untying all the ropes. He's you know, moving all the padding out the way.
Yeah.
He's continuing on. He's already coming up with his next plan to how what he's going to have to do now to fucking destroy this kid.
Yeah. It was very much like he was in the moment, like executing that plan.
Yeah, he didn't even think twice about it. He's already straight away starting to untie shit. So Darby's on the stretcher. The frog splash onto him, like, dude, hilarious. I was fucking crying with laughter.
Yeah, dude, I knew you would be.
He's so cruel.
Dude, as I was watching, I was laughing because like a lot of our friendship is based on that shared type of humor that we have. And I was laughing at it, thinking of it making you laugh. How brutally he was being like.
What kind of person is this? How cruel is he being? The guy's literally getting stretched out and taken to the hospital or something. No.
He's a 50-year-old man.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it funnier. Then he hits a kill switch on the exposed wood. And I'm like, I'm a little annoyed at the kick out, but it's okay. They're trying to lead to some more suspense here. Scorpion death lock, rope break, blah, blah, blah. Death drop by Darby. Coffin drop, late kick out by Christian. Okay, tip for tap with the finisher kickouts. Sunset flip powerbomb onto the exposed wood. Then the referee gets speared. And I'm like, okay, more drama. This is great. Christian, first time he gets the opportunity to hit this low blow. Then here comes Nick Wayne. I'm getting annoyed because I'm like, he better not. When he had the title belt in his hand, I was like, oh, okay. I saw it coming. I'm like, yep, he's turning on Darby.
Yeah, that's the other thing, though. Even though I wanted Nick Wayne to turn, so I just want to add that. Even though I wanted him to turn, because I prefer that rather than seeing him be a babyface, because no one wants to cheer that fucking twerp. Like, they need to learn. They need someone back there that can teach him, like, you don't want to telegraph that shit, you know? Yeah. Like, as soon as he picked it up, like, bro, pick it up and fucking launch it at him. Don't pick it up and stand there holding it for 15 seconds. Hold it for 3 seconds and then fucking wipe Darby out with it. Don't, because everyone, the second your hands touched it, people were already connecting in your mind that you were going to hit someone with it. So just launch it at him. Don't stand there and, you know.
People always, it's always the same way every time, isn't it? It's always that pause and then bang. How about you just, as soon as you've got it, just wham, like just something a little different. But anyway, suddenly I care about Nick Wayne. Like, isn't that funny how immediately someone turns heel? Immediately I feel that there's layers to the character and reasoning behind him being a prick now. Now I care, whereas before I was very irritated by his presence. So thankfully Christian retained the belt here, which I was very happy about, because sometimes I worry with AEW, they end angles before they really should. I thought after this, and you've already talked about all this, but I thought things were a little bit awkward. They were beating down Darby. It was kind of like they were waiting for Sting's theme song to play or something, but or the cue for Sting to come out was a little bit slow. Sting's walking out there. I thought he should be, you know, sprinting to the ring, but maybe he can't sprint.
Could have just had Sting come out of the crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, there are other ways to do that shit.
But you were right. He shouldn't have even been there. It should have just been maybe security coming out, then Luchasaurus comes out and he just starts fucking sending security guards.
Absolutely, man.
And then they're going to do the concerto spot because security guards should be coming out at that stage. If you're going to be sending a stretcher down, then it's serious enough for a stretcher at that point. Surely it's serious enough at this point with an exposed ring and somebody who's unconscious that you would send security out, which is giving you the reason for Luchasaurus to come out. Okay, you can say Sting is not here, Sting is not in the building, whatever. So you can at least give Sting the reasoning as to why, letting him off not being there to make the save, which is why Edge would come out to make the save because he happens to be there. He has to be debuting. Maybe he's seeing this coming because he knows that his friend is going a little bit crazy or something like, I don't know, whatever. We'd have to do a little bit more deep dive to figure that one out. But I'm happy he and Christian get to be together, and I'm assuming Adam Copeland's final portion of his career. But when I was watching this, I was just like, this is weird. This is weird. This is this new era, but like again, this focus on the ex-WWE guys and all that. I don't know. But look, I really enjoyed seeing Edge show up here. It'll be interesting to see where they go with the whole thing. But thank fuck, bro, we're at the end of the fucking review.
Yeah, dude. So I'll do my final thoughts here. Christian, best thing in AEW. AEW does have something there. They've got MJF. They've got Darby, they've got Sting, they got Christian, they have Copeland now, they have Daniel Bryan Danielson, they have Claudio, they have Kingston. Like I could name about 25 guys that are really good. FTR,
they got some great guys there.
Cesaro. The problem is the pieces of the puzzle just continue to not be put together properly. Too much emphasis keeps getting put on bullshit that the diehard, and especially the casual fan, wrestling fan, doesn't give a shit about. Not enough emphasis is put on the things that the fans do give a shit about. Christian, best run of his career possibly right now. Like, I know that's saying something because we don't tend to favor AEW, but Christian is like quietly doing some of the best work of his entire career. And that's saying something because he's pretty much never had a bad run as far as his individual performance. But yeah, that's the last of my comments. I overall think I'm going to give the show a 6.5 out of 10. I don't really feel comfortable going any higher than that because I just think that the show felt bloated. And there were a number of matches on it that I just feel like it's not really a dream match. There was like one dream match on this card, that being Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. And then there was two very intriguing matches on the card, those being the main event and the Kingston Shibata match, in my opinion. So...
yeah, well, I guess for my rating, right? Look, when I do a review of AEW, like their scale of how I do a rating for them is based on like what I expect from them and who they've got behind the scenes there that can help make sure that this makes sense and everything's built right. So I might give something like a company that has a way less budget, and I might be giving their shows like an 8 out of 10 or something like that, or a 7.5 out of 10. But I'm doing that based on what I know about what they are able to offer us as far as
we grade on a scale when it
Yes.
comes to these things.
So like I expect way more from this company, right? Yeah. 3 of the matches were ruined for me because of Moxley. I will I'll give a couple of points to Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson. Okay, so that's 2. Julia Hart and Statlander is going to get a point because they did very well with the very limited amount of time that they were given. MJF for entertaining me, I'll give an extra point to, and I will give 2 points to Christian and Darby Allin and Adam Copeland and the end of the show there. Okay, even though there's a little few things could have been improved upon, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 overall. Sure, some people will be like, "What you gave WrestleDream 6
Nah,
out of 10?"
I
What the
don't
fuck,
fucking
man?
care. I don't
Don't
fucking
care,
care.
bro. Don't
As I
care.
say to people all the time, All Out fucking 2021, we gave that a fucking 9 out of 10.
Yeah, every time we say that.
It can be done. We've given, I think, 2 or 3 AEW shows have, gone
Have high
up into
ratings,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so they're capable of doing it. It's just, when
They just
all
don't.
that 2021 was happening, things were way less complicated. They didn't have all these people on the roster. They didn't have Ring of Honor being mixed in there. It was so simple at the time, and they ended up just making it way too overcomplicated with all of these people and all of these titles. And oh my God, it's too much. But there we have it, Juicy Boy. There we have it. 6 out of 10, 6.5. So that is what, 12.5 out of 20.
Yeah, so I've been Juicy Boy alongside California. This has been your AEW WrestleDream 2023 review. I've been Juicy Boy. He's been California. Yeah, well, fucking, I'm saying it again. I've been Juicy Boy again. He's California again.
Yeah.
And we'll see you down the fucking road, bitch.
See you down the road. Thank you.
Yeah, bye, bitch.
Stupid. Okay. It's midnight. Let's go to bed, bro. Well, I'm not going to go to bed, but you go to bed.
Nah, I'm not going to go either.
All right. Well, I'll see you down the road, bro.
All right. See ya.
Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.